As I told you, was it on Saturday, that Julian Timber is set to play his first competitive game ever since he got injured on the Kickstarter of the Premier League against Nottingham Forest at the Emirates, where he went ahead to see to it that his axillary muscle of the knee went ahead to obviously get injured. He has been out of action for a very long time, and today he has returned into action. He has gone ahead to score a goal, and I'm going to let you know what exactly went ahead to happen and what Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to say about Julian Timber. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name. This is Rokani Media. This is Rokani Media Football, and this is the Arsenal News Show. And hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. Let's see close to how many likes. Let's see close to 500 likes smashing this video. Let's welcome back Julian Timber back in action for his first competitive game, because it has been really long due and the wait was worth it, because for every person that went ahead to see this goal that Julian Timber was going to hit to score, just went ahead to say, all right, the juice was worth the squeeze. And that is Julian Timber for you. It's the 23rd of April. And we are here to obviously talk Julian Timber. Arteta has always gone ahead to let us know that he's going to be playing into the under 23s in there for you, and under 21s of Arsenal. And today he has gone ahead to be part of the squad that's going to play into that side of Arsenal. And let me show you a little bit of how the lineup was into that encounter. That's sort of it, that Julian Timber came into action and we went ahead to play a very beautiful role into that side of Arsenal. Okonkwo, Nicholas, Walters, Haven, Timber, Lewis Kelly, Henry Francis, Nwaneri, Kabia, Kozia Dobry, and Butler Oyedeji. This Oyedeji guy is really on fire, scores very many goals, and that's so Julian Timber obviously coming in through and really score a very amazing goal into that goal that really went ahead to go into the top corner of the goal, and everyone was like, Julian Timber is back. If at all you've been waiting for Julian Timber and you've been missing him, this is what he gets you. And for all Arsenal fans all over the world, you know how much you've gone ahead to miss out on a player like him, because he is a different breed of player. He's a different breed of player, I tell you. This guy is really a top class player. You know, anything you want him to do, he'll do it. He's a complete footballer who takes you to the sky, and that's why Mikel Arteta went ahead obviously go in and sign him. And that's why I'm not surprised when I hear that Arsenal is interested into right back, because it looks like Julian Timber is going to be played as a left back at the side of Arsenal, and he's gonna be there to do the needful. So after all that, Julian Timber went ahead to only play 45 minutes into this game of football, because he's just returning from injury, and there is no way he will obviously come in through and see to it that you really get him more minutes. This is how he went ahead to shoot, and he went ahead to obviously put that ball into the back of the net, and that is Julian Timber for you. He used his right foot that really got injured. That was going to hit to excite very many Arsenal fans, that with that shot at goal that went ahead to curl into the top corner, that means he was going to hit to totally ill, and he's ready to go as a player. So that is Julian Timber for you. He brings you quality and class at the same time. So at halftime, how did the game obviously go? Obviously at halftime, by the time Julian Timber really went off, the game ended 2-2 at halftime. So that is Julian Timber for you. And by the way, these fellow players of the U21s of Arsenal went ahead to obviously celebrate his goal, because they knew what it means to be missing out of action ever since August. If you are to count from August, you have September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 8 months out of the game of football. You underwent a surgery, and if at all you return and put in that shift, you deserve the credit. You deserve to be given the credit, because it doesn't come that easily. So for me, I'm really excited with what Julian Timber is going to hit obviously put up as a player into that beautiful game of football, and I think he deserves to be given his props, and his flowers I think are going to be shared to him. So congratulations to Julian Timber for coming back in action and going into that competitive side. Now, these other under 21 goals that have gone ahead obviously coming through to do the needful. the under 21 players. Julian Timber knows them very well because the under 21 and most of the players that start in the under 21 of Arsenal have proved to be very vital into the first team training sessions of Arsenal. They train with the first team of Arsenal, and there is no way this guy is not well conversant with them. So that is Julian Timber for you. And to tell you what, he was subbed off at halftime for Arsenal's under 21, and great job for his return and a brilliant strike that he went ahead obviously put into the top bottom corner. So I know how Arsenal fans are really excited, and he's really one of those that has gone ahead obviously put in a shift. And guess what? Today, as Mikel Arteta conducted the the press conference, he came out and obviously got asked questions about Julian Timber. And the first question was on if Julian Timber could be involved against Spurs on Sunday, because we all know that today he's going to be part of the Arsenal under 21s. And he replied and said, that's a quick step. Let's see how he feels today. He's been training really good. He looks ready. He needs the exposure. And after that, we will assess whether that game comes at the right time or too fast. We'll try to get him with us for the final games. So Arteta looks like he doesn't have a plan of Julian Timber to return him immediately. He wants to give him ample time to heal because however much the need is there, but he's having close to 3 players that can come in through and do the job. At the left back, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, and Jakub Kivior. So if you're really having a backup like that, there is no way obviously hurry to get in a player. But if I told you we are last season, I tell you what, they would have gone ahead obviously get him in immediately, because you know how William Saliba has gone ahead obviously be off. You know, when he went off and they went ahead to suffer. If at all this guy was available and was returning from injury, I tell you, they wouldn't have gone ahead to give him that time, because we saw it with Gabriel Jesus last season. We saw it with Thomas Partey. We've gone ahead to see it with very many players before this season, because Arsenal never had really a very good quality side. But Arsenal having gone ahead to get in a very good quality side, they now know that they really have players that can do the needful. Because for the very first time under the era of Mikel Arteta, I've gone ahead to see him rest Bukayo Saka, and take him off the field of play. We saw to it that Saka went ahead to miss out on a couple of games because the manager felt like the squad can do the job. And by the way, all those games that he has been away, the squad has gone ahead to kill off the game, meaning that he now thinks that he really has a team that can do the needful and really kill off those games with or without Bukayo Saka. And that is, by the way, a very big tick for the side of Arsenal, because you can now rest your players and see to it that they don't really get injured. For me, as a fan of Man United, it has gone ahead to affect us a lot, because Ten Hag has a very good starting 11, but that starting 11 doesn't have very good backups. I think the only players that really have some good backups are Luke Shaw is having Tyrell Malacia, Rashford versus Garnacho, Anthony Ahmad Diallo. That is it, But when you look at Rasmus Højlund, he would have gone ahead to go on and compete well with Anton Martial, but Anton Martial is always an injury-prone player. So, if Ten Hag flaunts his starting 11, Onana in goal, Dallo right back, Luke Shaw left back, in the central defense, Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo in the double pivot, Bruno Fernandes ahead of them playing as a number 10, Rashford wide left, Garnacho wide right, and Rasmus Højlund through the center. That is really a very good team. But ask yourself, if you get out most of those players in the starting 11, does he have what we call the very good backup? And that summarizes as to why Manchester United is going to hit to see to it that their players don't really get what we call enough rest. That's why you see to it that the injuries are really very repetitive. Do you know why? Because these players are really forced onto the field before they are really ready, because the situation is alarming at the club of Man United. No team in the Premier League is going to hate to obviously accumulate injuries like those of Manchester United has going to hate to achieve. To accumulate. So I really want to give the physio team of Arsenal credit that they've gone ahead to obviously see they don't really force this guy. But why haven't they forcefully or hurriedly brought him back into the starting 11 of Arsenal on the match squad of Arsenal? Because the recruitment board at Arsenal went ahead to obviously get in players that the manager Mikel Arteta feels okay with. That is it. He feels okay with them, and he knows to it that they can do the job. And that shows you that He is not that kind of manager that is really fidgeting as he used to fidget last year. So I think that's a very huge plus. But he says the game of Tottenham Hotspur is really going to be early for this guy. And they believe they need to obviously do what we call a huge assessment of this lad, that is Julian Timber, for you. So after that, he was like, he might play into the 2 or 3 final games of Arsenal. And they got to know that it's not going to be imminent to see him play for the club of Arsenal, because a huge assessment has to be made for him. 45 minutes in, I think on Sunday, he might obviously play against Liverpool to really face another good side, to see to it that he can obviously get in like an hour mark of the minutes that are going to be played into that under-21 league. So after that, when Arteta is going to hit to tell the journalists that maybe he's not really having the best that he has to obviously take on this player, he said he was asked on if the Euros with Netherlands is too soon for him. He said at the moment it looks really far because he hasn't played any football. So let's see how he goes tonight. Let's see if he can contribute in an impact way to our system, and then we will see what happens in the summer. So he says that at the moment it's very hard for Julian Timber to make it to the Euros. And if I told you a national fan, you wouldn't like to see him make to the Euros. But I tell you, for his fitness levels and the confidence, I think you take him to the Euros. But I think if you take him to the Euros, it's not a given that it's going to start. Why? Because Netherlands has been having a set of 3 central defenders that are going to have to put in a shift ever since this season began. Though one of those went ahead to obviously have it hard. And that one was none other than Matthias de Ligt. But you saw him play against Arsenal, and he was going to hit overtake on Kim Min-jae and Upamecano. So the others are Virgil van Dijk and Nathan Ake, So looks like Julian Timber, however much is a favorite of the manager, he's really going to be, it's going to be hard for him to fight to get into that side of the Netherlands in the starting 11. But he can obviously make it to the squad of the Euros, but I see no reason for obviously taking him. But I think if you really want to see his fitness levels really get where you want them to be, I think it's better to obviously get him along with the team of Netherlands, because he needs now what we call competitiveness. You get? I think if Arteta can play 2-3 last games of the season for Arsenal, then the rest will be good. And I really tell you, if there is a player that Arsenal missed, it was this guy. It was this guy, especially in that game of Bayern Munich. He would have gone ahead, obviously put in a lot of effort, and his penetrative passes that would have gone ahead to create for the side. So guys, that's what I had for you. And that's what Arteta had to say about this guy called Julian Timber. So I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. Rokani David is my name. Julian Timber scores a brilliant goal on his return that is going to hit to see everyone really know how much Arsenal is going to hate to miss him. So may the living to God bless you abundantly. Those going to bed, good night. I tell you, we are still here, and we're going to be live in the next 1 hour from now, talking football and how Pochettino thinks he's going to retake on the side of Chelsea in a nick of time. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. To the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. So see you in our next video. I'm out. I've gone ahead to come in late, but I'm charged to really present to you the best of the best. Don't forget, we called in for 500 likes on this video, and we went ahead to tell you, please do the needful and really subscribe, because we want to hit 21,000 subscribers before the end of this month. Ciao, ciao.